Hi, everyone. Welcome to LocReady. My name is Tulsi, and we are here today with Star Tang, who graduated from Miss in 2020 and is currently the localization project manager at TikTok based in China. Welcome, Star.
Thank you, Tulsi. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. First, could you start off with a little bit of your background and how you came to be at TikTok and maybe how your typical day looks like at TikTok now?
Great. So I have finished my bachelor's degree in English literature in China. And then I went to London to pursue my first master in multimedia journalism. And then I went to Miss to study localization and interpretation. So I just landed at TikTok after I graduated from Miss. And now I'm a localization project manager at TikTok. So in terms of my daily work, I manage the localization requests from the APAC region and do a lot of audiovisual localization projects. Apart from that, I also do some talent management work and data analysis and financial tracking. So yeah, that's basically about my background and my daily work.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing. Okay, getting into it. We saw your post about a Best Friend Award you received at TikTok. Can you explain what that award was for and how you were able to receive it?
That award event is called GBME. So in TikTok, we have several events to award some valuable contributions provided by our internal colleagues. And my award, Best Friend, is to award colleagues who have built cross-functional collaboration with stakeholders. So I'm very honored. I was very honored to be awarded that event. So I really learned that communication is really, really important. When I was doing those projects, I didn't think too much. I was just I want to get things done, and I want to first, really complete our localization part. Like localization is just a step of the whole process. For localization, I need to, be the person who is responsible and reliable and just to have everything ready. But I also need to think about the upstream work and the downstream work. I also need to think about what I can help other teams, ease their life and provide more support. I just wanted to complete that project on time with good quality and, just work together. I always believe in teamwork makes dream work. So I just tried my best.
I really think it shows how much hard work you put in and how much people were able to recognize that. I mean, I think it's safe to say since you got this Best Friend Award, you've been successful in building those partnerships and working with cross-functional teams. So congratulations for that. Are there some specific ways that you've been able to build those meaningful partnerships across the company?
Actually, it really depends. Depends on the teams you are working with and different personalities. To me, I believe the first step should be, listen to what your cross-functional teams need and what I can do from my side and what they can contribute to work together. Like I just need to listen to others' needs and show my willingness to work together with them to achieve the optimal results. But it's really hard just because different stakeholders have different backgrounds and have different priorities. I feel like when you're working like in the localization industry on a buyer's side, it's very, very hard to, have everyone prioritize localization. But for some stakeholders who have some knowledge about that or who, attach importance to it, that would be really easier for you to communicate and to find the best solution for both teams. But sometimes if they do not really have that awareness, we still need to, I feel the important thing is to speak their languages, to evangelize localization, but put myself in their shoes to, speak my story, but in their languages. What localization can help them to achieve what they need. To me, like a win-win situation is, to realize their goal. Along with that, I can also achieve like my localization goal. Like, so I feel like the most important thing is to communicate, be patient, and show your willingness to communicate. Then I feel like gradually your stakeholders will raise awareness of localization. And maybe next time in the future projects, there will be some improvements. But we need to wait. It's like it takes time. Because even like even you tell your stakeholders it's not the right way to do localization, they will just maybe let you know, because we have the tight turnaround time, we have no choice. Maybe that this kind of matter will happen again. So we have to, as a localization specialist, you have to be patient and to keep evangelizing what localization is. But I feel like finally all the efforts will be paid off. I feel like although there are still some challenges, I still need to keep doing what I have already done. The good thing is that as my award implies, my stakeholders still appreciate my communication and like all the the concerns I raised about their work, or like the support I provide to their team. So like I feel like everyone can finally understand that. So we just need to be be a good listener, a good communicator, and just to do it energetically and patiently.
All right. I think that's a really good one. Patience. I don't hear that advice a lot, but it definitely makes sense. And just your effort in understanding what the stakeholders' priorities are, and not just pushing like your localization goals on them a lot, but understanding where they're coming from and then trying to teach them essentially about localization. I think that's really cool. And I think that shows why you got the award, and that they see your efforts. Kind of along the same lines, but then moving back to talking about school, what classes at MIS taught you the most about cross-functional teamwork, and were there any like lessons or points that you brought with you to your job now?
Actually, like the simple answer is everything. I really appreciate all the things I've learned from MIS. It's not just, I'm not just flattering our program. I have to say everything I've learned is really useful. Just like no matter the cross-functional collaboration, or like the very hands-on theoretical knowledge. So I feel like, because for all the course projects, we are asked to do a group work. So I feel like each group project cultivates my patience, my communication skills, and finally help me to communicate with my stakeholders during my work. And in terms of the course, like the lessons, like the real like knowledge, I feel like I have made full use of everything. And I was even thinking about I need to learn more. When I was at school, I feel like I haven't learned this industry, until I started my localization management courses. So at that time, I was not really I didn't know the real situation. So when I was learning that, sometimes I cannot really link the theoretical knowledge into real practice. But now when I look back, when I was reflecting what I've learned, I can, it just like, it feels like you can connect some dots. But it would be really good if I can, learn more after I had some hands-on practice. Now I can just go back and to learn what we have learned and just to have more, I think I can have more deep thoughts. Mm-hmm. Specifically speaking, I learned a lot about PM skills from the LPM courses. Mm-hmm. And we also have audiovisual classes, and like covering.
Mm-hmm. And you work with a lot of media now.
I work with a lot of media projects. Although I learned because our course covers a lot of things. Like, as you know, like maybe we learn InDesign for a couple of weeks and then we switch to another software. We haven't learned very deeply about one tool, but that course did introduce me to the whole real work situation, and I know like what DTP specialist can do. So when you are when you're managing a project, I feel the important thing is to have a big picture. You don't have to be every role, like you don't have to do the DTP work, but you should understand how DTP specialists should do. So you can maybe give some suggestions, and even not to mention suggestions, you will understand better about your project, and then you can communicate with all the partners. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I feel it's really, really useful. And I feel like being a project manager is not a really easy work. It's hard. You need to manage everything. So like from the first step to the completion of the project, you need to think about the whole process. So that's why I'm saying like you need to have a big picture, but you also need to be very detail oriented. You need to evaluate the source content you have received. Like sometimes maybe it's not easy, or maybe it's just not ready to be localized yet, but you have to get that sense to understand, if, for example, if the source language is English, if that English content is already good to go, like is there any mistakes? So, and for the design projects, so what kind of design tool they are using, and do the designers have a sense of localization? So if all the things are like like not editable, so how we can do localization? So it's all the things are like useful, and when you are managing a project, you do need all the knowledge about different roles, so you can give some advice to the source content designer, copywriter, and also other requesters. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I do learn a lot from all our courses, and I've learned a lot of soft skills from our like localization program manager courses. And I have taken all the LPM related courses, advanced LPM or localization program management courses, also like quality management, vendor management courses. I've taken all the things, and I feel like although it's a case-by-case thing, you need to think about that company's situation. We have different localization maturity environments, and we have different tools at different companies. But it's really good if you have kind of sense, like the best practice should be like what kind of thing like should be the, just like, what should be the best practice. Mm-hmm. If you know that in different situations, you can always find a way to reach your goal. So yeah, that's why. Yeah, I really appreciate all the things we've learned, and they are all good practices summarized by our experienced professors. So yeah, yeah.
So the
So
program
yeah,
was a good like overview of and had a little bit of everything that you found to be
mhm,
useful in your job now. So that's really cool.
exactly. Mhm.
Okay, so we talked about how you were able to build relationships more specifically with your stakeholders. What do you think is an important part of building productive relationships within people and your colleagues in your own team in the localization department?
Yeah, communication is still the key. The slight difference will be like we are in the same industry, so like everyone knows that. So the difference is that we are speaking to like professionals, and everyone knows where localization is. So it's very easier to communicate, and you don't have to think too much about what you are going to express, or like how you need to, sometimes when you are communicating with your stakeholders, you need to rephrase into, as I said, speaking their language. But if you are communicating with your internal localization PMs, that will be easier. So I feel like internally speaking, we will think about, just brainstorm like solutions to improve efficiency, think about how we can have standardized workflow, or for example, FAQ to our stakeholders outside the localization department. So it's like you are having a lot of colleagues with the same mind, and you are speaking the same language. So the most important thing to work with them is to communicate efficiently and help each other. It's like you are an army, so you have to back up each other when there is a requester, having different problems. So that PM is communicating with that requester, but for something that PM is not able to handle, we can be the backups. And to sometimes for a complicated project, we can have several PMs to divide different parts and be in charge of different localization steps. So yeah, internally it will be a more than cooperation. We
Right.
are
It
like,
sounds more like there's a support system internally. What is something that you think you learned on the job that wasn't necessarily taught while you were in school?
yeah, I do have learned a lot from our courses, and they are all really, really useful. But I feel like for our program, it specializes in globalization work at the vendor side. So when it comes to a buyer side, it's like it just needs some time for me to adapt and to, really change my mindset. Because at buyer side, I feel like managing the projects like is just the foundation, but we need to do more than that. It would be really great if we can learn more skills on a buyer side at school. And I feel like, specifically speaking, for like quality management or like terminology management, these kind of um, this kind of um, expertise are really hard to be acquired on a company's like just depends on different companies needs and their tools. So I feel like what to really improve localization quality in a specific company is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
What we have learned is a general guide, and I know like what it should look like, but in real cases, it's not really easy to do that, especially on a buyer side, because quality is not really easy to measure. Yeah, I just feel like it would be really nice to have more knowledge about how to work on the client side.
Okay, thank you. As a closing question, do you have any advice for current students who want to work for social media as a localization project manager, and maybe specifically about TikTok?
Yeah, if for social media companies like TikTok or other video streaming companies like Netflix, like their businesses are you can tell from their businesses it's really good for candidates to have some media background and have some as we have already learned at MIS, have the multimedia localization skills like the audiovisual courses. In terms of the background, if you want to go to companies like TikTok, it will be really great if you have some media and marketing background. You can tell from their businesses because all the content will be very creative and targeting, young people. So it will be really great if you have a sense of, media production or marketing and product, like all the knowledge about the internet industry will be really a plus. But we are going to be, a localization specialist, right? So it's the most important thing is to have a solid foundation of localization experience. You should know the localization industry, how to work with different LSPs, how to communicate with your stakeholders. So it's important for candidates to have the communication skills, cross-functional collaboration skills, and also you need to be very detail-oriented. As I said, being a PM is a challenge. You need to manage each step. You need to have a big picture. In the meantime, you also need to check the source content, finalize the final output, and then do a quick maybe quality check. The work does involve a lot of details. So it's important for you to be a detail-oriented, quality-focused person and have the ability to manage multiple tasks effectively. What I've mentioned is about soft skills. So we do need some technological knowledge if you want to be a great LPM, because the first thing is to be familiar with our CAD tools, right? And sometimes you also need to be part of the tool designing, because on the client side, the company prefers to have their internal tool, right? It's not like all the tools we have already learned from school. It's like you are being part of the design team. So you need to know what do you want, what systems you'd like to have to improve efficiency. So it's really important for you to be familiar with all the tools. I think our course has already covered everything. So you need to know about those technology. And then maybe in a new scenario, you can also, design your own, based on what you have learned from the tools in the market and also your previous experience dealing with different projects and different tools. Just to summarize, soft skills, just be a great listener and communicator, be patient and detail-oriented. Hard skills, learn all our localization knowledge that has already been taught in our program, and try to be, more, creative and explorative. Sometimes what we have learned will not be the thing you are going to use in the real situation, but they have the same principles. So you can self-learn a lot of things based on what we have already got. But I really appreciate all the knowledge we have learned from MIS, and I believe all our students from this school can get a great job in the localization industry.
We're going to wrap it up here. And thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem.